Welcome to Sipping Reality with Jill and
Megan.
how's everybody doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of things on my mind, but
Oh, I have so much to do today. It's ridiculous.
yeah, I do too. I have too much to do all the time.
Spinning.
On a hamster wheel.
Well, let's slow down and talk about a very important topic today. I think kind of stems off last week.
Yeah. We definitely need to go there.
So we got into the narcissist a little bit, hot topic in today's world. Some people can't stand hearing about it. Most people love it and are eating it up because everybody knows one.
Yep.
But even more prevalent, I'm finding, is the avoidant attachment style. And that's becoming the next hot topic for a very important reason also.
Yeah, and really because we have joined the dumpster fire of a dating world.
The dumpster fire of the dating world. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Does that even describe it? I don't even think that's passionate
I'm not
enough.
even sure there's a word to describe the dating world right now. Or a phrase.
So we were both out of the dating world for what, about 14, 15 years?
Yeah, since I was 19, I'm 36.
Yeah, I was 30, and I'm 44. So 14 years I was out of the dating scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, people aren't even the same. Never mind in the dating world, but, like, people aren't the same from when I was younger than they are now. Like, really.
Yeah, not only were we out of the dating scene, but we were in very isolated marriages in our home, having children.
Yeah.
Taking care of children. Yeah. Just kind of out of the world for at least the last 7 years of our relationships.
I mean, maybe that makes it even more shocking to, like, step into it.
It has been. It has been very shocking, and I know a lot of you know it too, because I see reels and shorts and posts all the time about women in their 30s, 40s, 50s divorcing, and men also,
men
not
too.
to leave the male side out, of course, but stepping out into the dating world and being like, whoa, what did I just step into? We're all like, ooh, we're gonna go date, and then we're
flirt.
like, whoa, what just happened?
But nobody even flirts in public anymore either, which is really strange. Like, I remember when I was younger, just going out, I could get a number, like, nothing. Like, we would be like, oh, exchange smiles and, some small talk, and then, hey, can I get your number? Like, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, I had this super attractive guy, like, looking at me over and over again at a gas station a couple weeks ago. Like, clearly was attracted to me. Even made a little small talk, and then just left to never see me again. Like, there was no, like, oh, I gotta get her number now or I'll never talk to this person again. There was no, I mean, granted, he might have had a person in his life. That's always a possibility, but, like...
But it's not just an isolated incident. I think that's why we're seeing this, and so many others are seeing it also. I've been out, not a lot. I don't get that. I get 4 kid-free nights a month, and during soccer season I get a lot less than that, so I'm not out all the time. But when I do go out, I have noticed that even sitting at a bar, people aren't talking to each other the way they used to. I used to all the time. Well, I was a bartender. I was way into the bar scene when I was in my 20s and I was single. And I was constantly out at bars, and I would go and sit at the bar intentionally so that I could be social, because I loved it. I love talking to people. I love getting to know new people. And I have not sat down at one bar and just started randomly chatting with people like I used to. It's just not the same.
No, we've gone a couple times and sat at the bar, and no one talks to you.
No.
Not even the bartender.
No. Oh, no. Right?
Yeah.
Bartenders are what they used to be. It used to be really hard to get a bartending job, and you had to. I bartended in downtown Boston and in Back Bay area. And when you got interviewed to be a bartender, you were getting judged based on your looks based on your speed, your ability to make a good tasting drink, and your personality. I had bartender or managers that would come and scout me. They would actually scout bartenders at other bars, and they would come and sit at your bar and not tell you who they were, so that they could see how sociable and friendly and how much you engage the customer. Mm-hmm. And yes, I don't think one bartender has said anything more to us than, what do you want, and here's your check.
We've even been ignored. I mean, a bar that wasn't even, the last one, wasn't even crowded.
Yes.
I mean, where people are like standing in between you, waving off the bartender trying to get a drink. There was none of that. There was empty seats.
Yes.
Around the bar.
And it's not to say there's never any social, I was going to make up a word and say socialness, but I love to make up words, so let's just go with it. Happening out there, but the level of it is
significantly low.
It's like at a 5% compared to a 90%
I get very shocked
in the past.
when someone speaks to me and is friendly.
Yes, it is.
I do.
It
I'm like, wow.
But even online, I've met people who are like, oh wow, you're a real person. Mm-hmm. They get surprised online.
Yeah.
So where are you supposed to meet somebody? Nobody's real online.
No.
People are shocked to like talk to somebody that actually just is interested in getting to know them, just wants a normal conversation back.
Yeah.
And so if nobody's talking in person and everybody's feeling that way online,
yeah,
how is anyone going to meet? Now we do meet somebody. We have met men. Right? We've dated, we've explored, we've had fun, and anyone we seem to be interested in, all of a sudden, red flags. Beep, beep, beep. Avoidant.
Yeah.
Avoidant. They're great. They're amazing.
Sabotaged.
And then all of a sudden they start to like us and boom, gone.
Yeah.
I love you, so I can't be with you. Oh, I'm really into you, so I can't be with you. It's this confusing message.
Yeah.
That is really making it impossible for two people to get close to one another and make a life with each other.
Yeah. And it's like, gosh, the expectation of spending the rest of our life together isn't even there, and it's difficult. It's like you've taken all expectations off the table. We're just enjoying each other's company. And
no pressure.
Happy that we're going to spend the weekend together. We're not thinking about the future. We're not thinking about getting married.
Neither of us want to get married legally again. No. We're not looking for that pressure.
It's like all of that pressure is off the table.
And they still can't handle it.
It's unbelievable.
And the thing is that they want intimacy and they seek it, and they actually encourage you to become intimate with them. And if this is you, this is no judgment. This is just the state of our world that we're sharing about. I can be very avoidant at times too. Same. So this is not coming from a judgmental place.
No.
But we encourage each other's intimacy. And then the moment the other person becomes vulnerable and is intimate, then they or me run. And then think about this. It creates more avoidant attachment styles.
Yes.
Because if every time you finally open up and become vulnerable to somebody, they run from you, well, now I'm starting to become avoidant.
Well, and that's why I wrote that blog post, about not becoming jaded by this, and walking around like that. I really want to make sure I don't do that, because I'm never going... First of all, I'm never going to be a good partner to somebody else if I walk around with that hurt and resentment and bitterness. But I'm never going to have a real good relationship. I'm not going to be open to it. And I will become the avoidant. The shoe will be put on the other foot. And I don't really want... I want to have a good relationship with somebody. I want to have a life partner. I think we all crave that. I think we all desire that, whether we want to admit that to ourselves.
The avoidant attachment style deeply desires it.
Yeah.
Which is why they're not doing it to be cruel or mean. They deeply desire intimacy and they seek it. And then I think there's a level of...
when they have it.
Well, there's a level of not being self-aware.
Yes, right.
Where all of a sudden somebody becomes vulnerable and intimate with them, and then the ick factor comes up, right? It's like all of a sudden like, oh, whoa, I don't know if I like this person. And it's not that they don't like the person. it's a lack of self-awareness of what that trigger is that's coming up within them. What part is coming up within them? We don't talk enough about parts and parts work. And we've written some blogs about it. If you haven't been to our blog, sippingreality.blogspot.com has some blogs that we've started to discuss parts and parts work. And when we become aware of these parts, that's okay. So anytime we're triggered, that's a part coming up.
Yeah.
Every time you're triggered by something, a part's coming up in you.
And if you're not aware of it, you're keeping it a very external observation. It's like, oh, well, it must be because I don't like this about this person. It must be because I'm not feeling the connection anymore. It must be because of something about them.
Yes.
Something they're doing, something about them, exactly. And it's not.
And they'll find something. Even if they can't think of anything, they'll rack their brain. What is it about this person that's bugging me now? And it's no other human being is going to please you in every single way. You can find something to be annoyed about any single person in this world.
But then they attach. And then you attach to that observation, that external observation, and instead of understanding that it's coming from within you, it's something that needs to be healed within you, because you're going to do that to anybody and everybody. It's not the person, it's not what they're doing, it's not what they're saying. It's an internal trigger.
Yes.
And if you're not aware of that, yeah, you're just looking for these external observations, and you're gonna say, well, that's it. It's because they do this, this, and that. So bye.
And that's why the avoidant attachment style, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of their life, says, wow, all I wanted was love, and everybody was the same.
Yeah.
Every relationship was the same. It always ended in a fight. It always ended in them being toxic. It always ended in whatever. And they feel like there's no hope for love, and then they detach even more and stop seeking love. I think that happens very often. Why would I even keep looking for love when I just keep getting hurt? Because they do have feelings. They do have emotions. We're not talking about the narcissist. I'm not talking about, when I say narcissist, I'm not talking about somebody who has narcissistic qualities. We all have narcissistic qualities, some people far greater than others. But when I talk about the narcissist, I'm talking about that true narc with zero ability to empathize, and even the ability to believe that others can empathize. Somebody who's really that far gone.
Yeah.
Right? And we can't group in an avoidant attachment style with the narcissist. Although narcissists do act very avoidant.
Yes.
But an avoidant attachment style is not equivalent to a narcissist. And I think that's why so many people are getting labeled as a narcissist who aren't.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there is confusion there. There's an importance of gaining knowledge and discernment around narcissism and avoidant attachment style within ourselves and within others.
I think that's what's so frustrating about getting to know or dating an avoidant attachment style, because they're not a narcissist. They do not have narcissistic personality disorder. There is a human aspect to them that if they could just see the pattern and change it, they would be an awesome partner.
And some do.
Yeah.
It is possible, but we can't change anyone else. They have to be self-aware and want to change. And I think that's where it's easy to get lost in that trap, because they are deeply intimate, vulnerable people. And when you have that experience of them in the beginning, and they are so deep and intimate with you, and you have that connection with them, you
just want to shake them. You literally, you want to grab them and shake them like what?
That's not enough. You kind of want to take a frying pan and whack them over the head really hard.
Like, dude.
Maybe take them from the behind and just grab the back of their head and bam into the wall.
Yeah. Like a puppy, like shove their nose into their own piss.
No,
just
that's
kidding.
Not enough.
They're shit.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. You're being too nice today, Megan.
Why? I know.
Wow.
I know.
Have we switched roles here?
Maybe. I think so. You're like, no, that's too nice.
You're being very kind.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really frustrating. I think that's...
They're so easy to love. They are so easy to fall in love with.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's even harder because having this knowledge and understanding this almost feels like I can manipulate this person into understanding.
Yes.
And because I can see what they need to see, it takes an even greater responsibility for me to hold back doing that, because then that I'm being manipulative, and I cannot walk this out for this person. Like I literally just have to walk away from you because I can't do it for you. And if you're not doing the work, I can't, there's nothing further that I can do. And it takes a lot of consciousness to not do that.
Self-respect, self-honor, self-love, self-boundaries, healthy boundaries. Now, avoidants have very strong boundaries very often, but their boundaries, there's actually boundaries that are unhealthy. So we don't talk about that enough. Everybody talks about healthy boundaries today, and we always think of that. There's an assumption, I should say, of that a healthy boundary means having boundaries. Because so many of us, as I say us because I didn't have any boundaries at all.
I didn't either.
If I wanted somebody to love me, I gave them full access because I didn't have the self-respect, self-love, self-honor, all of that, right? So when people like me start to learn boundaries, we think of healthy boundaries as gaining boundaries. But there's another end of this spectrum, and I grew up in it, where there's this unhealthy, strict boundaries that are, they're too strict, they're too far, they're too hard. There's no wavering, there's no room for love, there's no room for empathy, even if you're empathetic, because your walls are so thick, you're protecting yourself so strong, and this is when you become avoidant. Because you put those walls up so strong, your boundaries are so clear and so strong, and you have so many of them, that it actually keeps you separated from other people when your strongest desire is actually to be intimate with other people, emotionally, physically, in whatever way.
Right.
And so, again, the key to walking through these relationships in a healthy way, knowing when to walk away, knowing when to stay, all of that, again, just like with the narcissist, last week we talked about how cleaning your side of the street is important. Well, I know this isn't the best news ever, but with the avoidant, taking a look at yourself, your self-healing, your own parts, that is how you gain self-honor, self-respect, self-love. I tried everything in out there.
Well, I think it's important to note that, especially with dealing with avoidant behavior, you have to learn this boundary, this self-respect, because they will keep you on the hook. They'll essentially they're breadcrumbing you.
Yes.
You know, and they'll keep you on the hook. They don't want to let you go.
No, because they do care.
And so I think it's even more important. Obviously, healthy boundaries are always important, all no matter what we're dealing with in life, friends, family. But when it comes to an avoidant, it's even more so important to have that self-respect.
And what I want to get at is how you gain that self-respect. Yeah. How do you gain the ability to create healthy boundaries? How do you gain the ability? Because you can buy 1 million books out there. You can go to every retreat there is. You can do yoga. You can do meditation. You can do healing retreats. You can go do voodoo. You can do all these crazy things. No, they're not crazy. I don't mean that. But there's crazy things you can do. I didn't want to associate that all as being crazy. But there are some really intense out there ways of healing today, because everybody's looking to heal. Mm-hmm. And what Megan and I have recently discovered is that when you throw that all out the window and you stop seeking outside of yourself for healing, and you start connecting with your parts and these triggers and how these parts come up, and you start loving those parts and appreciating them, and letting them know that it's time that they can go now, that you're okay and they're okay, and you start having that conversation, all of a sudden you walk out your day more and more as your true authentic self. And that true authentic self has self-care, has self-love, has healthy boundaries, has self-honor, has all of those things.
Well, and all of a sudden, decisions that were really hard to make, like walking away from somebody who's breadcrumbing you, keeping you in this weird gray area, you're no longer in this place where you're going to seek this external validation from this person anymore. You're like, I deserve more than this.
And what it does is it also allows you to be in a place where you don't put walls up and you can love again and you can keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know that if somebody were to do this again, you will walk away.
And you also know that you're willing, that you'll be okay if you do walk away, that you can let somebody else in. And if you have self-love, or when I gained self-love, I should talk for myself, when I started to gain that, I want to give it. It makes me all the more want to be open to giving that to somebody else and to being that person that's not going to be the one to do that to them. The more hurt that I receive in my life, the more I want to stop hurting others.
Yeah, and I want to attract the person that is open to being fully loved by me. Like, I desire that more than anything. I really do, because I know how much love I have to offer as a friend, as a lover, and I know that someday someone's going to be open to that. Yes, and I absolutely agree with that. The more I experience this, the more I desire to attract a person that is going to receive it and fully receive it, and not be triggered by it and want to run away, thinking, oh, this is going to end at some point, let me sabotage it, or, oh, I don't deserve to be treated this way, so let me sabotage it. I'm not good enough for this person to love me in this way, so let me sabotage it. I have to believe that there's someone. But the thing is, I think where you and I are at right now is like, if I don't find that person, I'm okay. I think that's where we're at. It's like, I think that's what's giving us the room, the space to find that or not. Because I'm okay alone. Like, I got some stuff to work on. She's laughing. She's looking at me because
I'm laughing quietly into my shoulder.
She does.
Because we were just talking this morning.
I have a reserve. I do have a reserve where I really don't ever have to be alone. But at the same time, like, I'm open. I'm open to either finding a person who is everything I just explained, who has the capability of receiving love, and giving love, obviously. But I'm open to not finding that too. And I guess where we're at now is like, I'm not gaining my self-worth externally anymore. That's the big shift, I think, for both of us, is that I'm not looking for that validation and love and respect externally anymore. I'm not receiving that from someone. I'm feeling that from within now. And
here's another topic.
Yep.
Codependence.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I always heard about codependence as not being able to be alone. So I never thought I was a codependent because I could always walk into a bar alone, walk into a restaurant alone and eat alone, walk into the library alone. I went everywhere alone all the time. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It's kind of avoidant, but I was very much like that in my 20s. I loved going places alone, and I was like, oh, I'm not codependent, because I knew other people. I had friends that would not go anywhere unless somebody came with them.
Right.
And I always considered that codependent. And then
I did that.
I started learning about narcissism, and I started to learn more about these other qualities people have that interact with narcissists and things, and I learned about codependency, and codependency is actually, the truth of the core of it isn't not being able to be alone, but it's that I see myself through other people's eyes. So I am who you treat me as, or I am what car I drive, or what house I live in, or what town I live in, or what part of the town I live in. I am all those things that are external of me. So how you treat me is who I am. The look on your face when you're talking to me is who I am. So now I'm watching every little bit of the look on your face as you're talking to me, and I'm creating myself based on that. And you might have something totally different going on, and you're thinking about that while you're talking to me, and it might not even have anything to do with me.
Right.
So what I have now is a sense of self that is apart from what I'm wearing, where I live, how you look at me, how you treat me. And that is becoming healthy and non-codependent.
Yes.
So that was an important lesson for me to learn. And I only learned that about a year and a half ago.
Honestly, I've always been very codependent in a way where I couldn't go anywhere alone. If another person didn't make the plans with me, I didn't go. And, up until, the last year and a half, I've been able to just not care what anybody's doing, go to a coffee shop and sit there for hours by myself reading a book, for the first time in my life. Now, I did have that side of codependency, but also I think we're like the same, but we had different symptoms of codependency, because I didn't search the way you did for validation, and people always scanning, how are they viewing me dealing with my children in public right now? Like, oh my gosh, they all think that I didn't have that, but I had other versions of it. But it's still,
it can look different.
Still one in the same. But ultimately, codependency is looking for the external validation of who you are. And I think it's interesting that we've kind of both come to this place at kind of around the same time, and really just recently, where we're both like, I don't need you to tell me what my worth is anymore. I don't need that. I don't need you. I don't need anything outside of me to tell.
Go ahead and tell me, but whatever you say, I'll just in one ear and out the other.
Now, that's not to say that you don't have trusted people in your life like you and I, where I respect when you say something, that it's that you're observing something about me, and I can trust that you're not doing it maliciously, so I can reflect on it with you and see if there's any validation to what you're saying about me.
Yeah, sometimes we're blind to parts of ourselves, and we can have trusted, discerning friends that we allow to help see parts of us that we're still learning to see, or parts of us we need to let go of, and things like that.
We do have people like that. Sometimes we don't have people like that in our lives. And that's where that comes in. You say what you want about me, but it really doesn't matter what you say. Yes. It's interesting. A few weeks ago, I was listening to Hoobastank, The Reason, and I was in my car, and I was trying to associate a man with the song while I was listening to it, but all I could think about was me, and I'm like singing the song to me, and like I'm not a perfect person. There's many things I wish I didn't do, and I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Don't say all the lyrics. I'm gonna get all teary.
I know.
I'm gonna get all emotional here.
I'm like, wow. Like I'm saying this to myself now. Like, I'm sorry that I hurt myself, and now I want to be the one to catch my every tear. Like
now it's playing in my head, and I'm like, oh
no, it's so beautiful.
Holding my own heart.
And then like just a few days ago, she messages me this song, Lifehouse.
What's the song? That's the band. The band is Lifehouse.
It's
I can look it up.
Looking back at me, I see that I never really got it.
No, that's not it.
Oh no, that's the other.
No, this is Lifehouse. I'm falling even more in love with you.
Oh yes, falling even more in love with you. Yep, there we go. Yeah, and she messages me and she's like, I'm like singing this to myself right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yes, like all of a sudden, I feel like this deep like love for myself, like wow. And like all of a sudden you come to this place too and you're listening to the song and it just like hits you like, wow, I'm singing this to myself. Like
even trying to think about a man and sing it about him, and I'm like, no, this isn't about him, this is about me.
Yeah.
Like I was mentally doing gymnastics trying to think about an external person.
Yeah.
And it kept bumping against this healthy wall in my head.
Yep.
That was like, no, you feel this way about you right now. Nope, this is about you right now. I was like, wow. And then I just started singing it about me. And it was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
We have some really exciting news that we should have shared at the very beginning. We will soon have our official website up for sippingreality.com. So hopefully in a week or so that will be up and running and out. So we will let you all know.
That will be home base.
Yes, for everything. For blog, for podcast. We're going to have a few other linked sites there. One's going to include coaching, which is going to be centered around parts and parts work primarily. I do have education in coaching. I have a certificate. And so I'm going to formulate a program that really centers around this newfound work.
Yeah. It's like the work.
The work.
It is.
The work.
Like if there is any work that best helps our brain to absolutely reprogram itself, the only way to sort through trauma. I like, honestly.
And with that said, it's not for everyone, because everyone's not going to be ready to
or
want to do it. No. But for those who are ready, who are truly ready and are seeking it, there's going to be a program available to work with me to start that work. And it's just a beginning.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong process of joy and excitement.
Yeah.
That we are on right now, and it's incredible, and I can't wait to help others too.
You know what's funny? I can't
also enjoy this work.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
We do that all the time.
I know.
Don't mind us.
I have a really serious issue.
We don't mind each other when we do it to each other.
I have a serious issue of cutting people off. I see myself when I do it in conversations, and I cringe inside of myself. I'm like,
you're going to forget what you were going to say.
No, I already forgot.
Oh, shoot. I knew it. I knew she was going to forget, so I had to cut her off.
Yeah, that's why I cut people off. Because I just can't. I can't keep a thought in my head. Right? I think my nervous system has just been on high from being a mom for 15 years that it's like shot. I'm like fried. Like literally, I can't keep a thought in my head.
Your nervous system has been fried, I dare say, since you were a baby.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let's keep it real here.
Yeah.
It's not motherhood. Motherhood has just
made it worse.
Well, no, I think that being a mom and being overstimulated by your children is a real thing, no matter how healthy you are going into it. But if we had a lifetime of peace and love and encouragement prior, I do think that the stimulation of children would be a different experience than it is for us.
It wouldn't be so triggering.
Correct. It wouldn't bring up so many parts because we wouldn't have so many parts to come up.
Right.
Right? And when you've been in fight or flight from the time you were a baby, and now you have children, you're in this constant state of fight or flight. And so you're already there.
Well, I'm like an avoidant mother.
We're in the house at 3 o'clock.
You're telling me I'm an avoidant mother.
What's that?
We are avoidant mothers.
Avoidant mothers?
Yeah.
I'm not an avoidant mother.
I am.
I'm not.
I am. I have become one.
I would
and I'm trying not to
say that I am. I am like so. I am so intimate with my children.
I try.
Emotionally, verbally.
I really try very, very hard.
I hug them. I do their hair. I love my children dearly.
I have a lot of moments where I do that, but it's very hard for me.
There are moments. You don't stay there.
No, I don't. I don't stay there as long. Yeah, no. But I don't stay in the avoidant, dissociated space as long as I used to before.
You swing back and forth. You do swing back and forth.
I do.
Yes, I had an avoidant mother. Probably the most avoidant person I've ever met in my entire life.
At least I mean...
She did not touch my hair. She did not She tried to comb it when it was snarled, and we always ended in tears and screaming.
Same with my mom.
Every time.
My mom let me cut my hair because she was sick of fighting with me.
Yeah. I had an extremely avoidant mother who had very strong boundaries, but again, this is where I learned that some really strong boundaries actually err towards unhealthy.
Yes, absolutely.
And you become avoidant and detached, and that's not good either, and it's not safe for those around you. Yeah. Emotionally for them when your boundaries are that strong. So there is a healthy boundary that's the middle of the road. Yeah. That's important for us to find. It's so easy to swing like a pendulum, no boundaries to too many boundaries, no boundaries to too many boundaries, and feel like you can never figure it out. But again, when you can really start to gain yourself and walk in that and recognize these parts and walk more and more in who you really are, those healthy boundaries aren't something you have to figure out. They're like naturally occurring boundaries.
I've really struggled with that as a mom. That pendulum swinging, like not enough, too much, not enough, too much. And I've definitely had times where I'm like right in the middle, like really, really good, healthy boundaries. But man,
that creates avoidant children. See, I just cut her off. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
But that creates avoidant children.
It does.
And they grow up to be avoidant because of that, because they never know what they're going to get with their mother. Are they going to get the avoidant? Are they going to get the loving mom? Which one am I going to get? So they learn to protect themselves. Yeah. And this is why so many people are growing up more and more avoidant, because we're gaining it from childhood. And that's not to have shame and guilt as a parent. We all have our trauma. We're doing the best we can. We're working through it. We're trying not to re-traumatize our children. And all we can do is heal and grow and help them to do the same at whatever stage of their life they're at. So no shame or judgment there either.
No, I bring it up. I bring it up because this isn't just about romantic relationships. These kind of attachment styles and issues, they're not. Like I said in one of the blog posts that I wrote, if somebody is like that song, the lyrics, like if somebody's that avoidant with a romantic partner, it doesn't just end there. You're approaching every relationship like that.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely that you're having true, deep, intimate relationships
with anyone.
People in with anyone else. Although it's possible, as a parent, maybe you aren't with your children, but you are with everybody else. Like there are some exceptions, but for the most part, if you're unable to be truly, deeply connected long term with another human being, it's kind of across the board, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. This was a good topic. I could probably talk about it for another 3 hours.
We could keep going, but we won't do that to you today.
No, we won't. We'll come back.
Oh, love that.
I love you. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh my gosh, this is the best decision we ever made in our whole life.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. This is fabulous. We really enjoy being here with you. We really enjoy talking with you. We look forward to some more comments and things and interacting more, especially as we continue on our website. We're so excited, so look out for that.
Yes.
It'll be sippingreality.com is coming soon.
Yay. All right, love you all. Thank you.